And the problem is not that this one thing is so frustrating, it's that there's so many things going on that you're not addressing. I started a long time ago. Every day I check my email, right? And I'll get anywhere from 2 to 10 spam emails. I don't just delete the email. I go in there, I click on the thing, I scroll down, I click unsubscribe, and I delete it. It takes 5 seconds to do that. But it ensures that I'm not going to at least get that spam again, right? Most people delete it, spam, delete, spam, delete, spam, delete, or put it in the spam folder and let it sit there. I'm talking about ones that hit your inbox, not ones that automatically go into spam. But most people won't go in and unsubscribe from it. So today you have 3 people that are spamming you and you don't unsubscribe, you just delete it. Tomorrow, those same 3 people send you another set of emails, but 3 more people send you new emails. Now you have a total of 6 spam. And you just go in there and delete it. Same problem. The next day, those 6 people are sending you. Now you have 3 more. Before you know it, a month from now, you're getting 50, 100 spam emails a day because you didn't take the time to just go in and unsubscribe from them. No, I'm not even exaggerating. It takes like 20 seconds at the most to go in and unsubscribe. Right? That's like doing that extra little step ensures that your sanity is not going to disappear in the future. But we do things like, I don't have time to spend that extra 5 seconds to unsubscribe because I'm so busy.
Yeah, but everyone has 5 seconds.
And then what happens is you wake up 6 months later and your inbox has 1,000 emails in it, and your phone has, the voicemail messages are full and you can't get any more voicemail messages, and people are texting you and everything's crazy, and you're like, man, running a business is super hard and it's stressful. It's like, yes, it is, but you made it 10 times worse because you didn't just stop and take 5 freaking seconds to unsubscribe from that email, or after you listen to the voicemail, delete it from your voicemail box. You're trying to shortcut everything that you do in an effort to save time, but what you're doing is actually on the back end adding way more stress and more time to your already busy schedule.
Because you've got more things you're looking at because it's all there piled up.
Yes. You talk to people who are not organized, who are not efficient at what they do. I see on somebody posts a screenshot on Facebook. It's like, hey, can you guys look at this comment I got? How would you respond? But up in the corner, you don't see it, but there's a little notification that says, 562 text messages, missed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you're like, how is that even possible? How can you have 562 missed text messages? And their response, if you ask them, they're like, oh, I just ignore that. What do you mean? There could be $250,000 worth of work sitting in those missed text messages that you're not responding to, or the emails that you have. There could be $500,000 worth of work in those emails, but you don't see them because they're buried in 5,000 spam emails because you didn't take 5 seconds 6 months ago to unsubscribe from them. Instead, you go, oh, I freaking hate spammers. Spammers are the worst. It's like, yeah, they suck, but that's just the reality. So get over it, delete it, unsubscribe, and move on.
Rather than just letting it tick you off and add more problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I call that micro frustrations. Every day we deal with hundreds of micro frustrations. You know what I mean? I'll give you like a really tiny, silly example. I have a razor, it has like a base, and you put the razor in there and it cleans it after you shave. It has like a little, so it's like this big, and then when you put the razor in, it's like this tall, and it sits on my counter. Well, the only location for the receptacles is like right behind it, because my vanity is like this wide. Here's the sink, so there's not much storage space. It's sitting right here, the receptacle's right behind it. I can't move this thing out of the way of the receptacle. And the plug-in for the razor, it's like this long. Like the box, the plug-in part, it plugs in the wall, it's like this long, and then the cord comes out straight. So when you plug it in the wall, the whole thing sticks off the wall like this much, right? And so I can't move my thing around, so it has to sit off the wall that 2 or 3 inches and kind of into the middle of the counter. It's annoying because it's open. There's not a wall there. So it's like open. It's just super annoying. Does it hurt anything? No. Could I leave it there and be fine? Yes. Does it annoy the piss out of me? Yes. It frustrates me. So I spent, total time I probably spent like 2 hours, but over the course of like 4 weeks researching a 90-degree plug-in adapter. So you could just plug it in 90 degrees and then direct it straight down as opposed to coming out. And whenever I was doing it, you would think that would be an easy thing to find. There actually wasn't very many of those available. Plus I want it in black because I have a black cord. I didn't want to, call me OCD, whatever. That's just what I wanted. But collectively, I probably spent 2 hours over the course of 4 weeks. I would log in, search for 15 minutes, can't find what I'm looking for, forget about it. 3 days go by, I'm still frustrated. I get frustrated too much. I go search again, spend another 10 minutes looking for it. But, finally I found it and I order it, $3 part. Order it, comes in, I plug it in, plug the thing in, move it back, I'm happy. I don't have that frustration ever again. That may seem like a silly example of like something that you need to fix. Why don't you just get over it? Why do you let that bother you? I'm not saying it's rational. I'm just saying that's something that annoys me. And so I fixed it. And I never have to deal with that ever again. Most people would have that annoyance and then just deal with that for years and not realize that that's a little micro frustration. And then you add on 30 other things that you deal with on a daily basis that are so insignificant of a frustration in that moment that you never do anything about it. But those 30 things added up over the course of a day make your day worse because you're just frustrated all the time. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's no different than your tools in your van, right? When you don't have a home for one of your tools and you have to lay it on the ground or lay it in the box and it's never where you want it, it frustrates you because you want stuff to be where it's at so that when you go to the van, you know exactly where it's at, right? You hire a new guy and he doesn't put stuff back in the right place. We get super pissed off. Why? Because it's a frustration that we have to go spend 10 minutes looking for this item because it didn't get put back in the same place. So you take the time to fix those things and you just keep eliminating all of those micro frustrations. And eventually you'll wake up one day and there won't be anything else to fix. And everything will be a lot easier. But what most people do is they never fix those things. And so as time goes on, more and more and more of those frustrations pop up. And it just adds to the overall collective frustration of the day. And so you don't have any one thing that makes you upset. You just have 35 things that combined make your day frustrating. I hate doing construction, man. I hate doing this. I hate working out of this van. I hate this. I hate that. I hate talking to people, blah, whatever it is. That's where we get to. And it's like, that's not the problem. The problem is not that this one thing is so frustrating. It's that there's so many things going on that you're not addressing that are bringing you up to a frustration point to where you just like snap or lose it or get tired. You have to cull out all of those little things every single time, like every day, constantly. It has to be intentional. You have to be very intentional about what you're removing. So like in my business, every single Monday, we would clean out the vans, organize the vans. And so we had a whole week of fresh, everything organized, restocked, ready to go. And then if we had extra time, we would spend 5 or 10 minutes and just fixed one little thing that annoyed us. That's it. It could be as simple as like the batteries, all the batteries, they wouldn't know which ones were charged and which ones were empty because there were so many batteries. So we took a scrap piece of wood, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. When you go to your toolbox and you need a battery, you grab the battery, you push the button, dead. You grab a battery, push the button, dead. You grab another battery, push the button, it's got 1 bar, right? You're like, golly, where's all my charged batteries, right? Mm-hmm. And then what do? We find the good battery, and then what do we do with the old ones that were right back in the bag? And then when that battery dies an hour or 2 later, what do? We go back to the same bag and what?
Sift through all of them.
Do the exact same process again, right? Mm-hmm. You do that 3 times in one day, and you're like, this is so frustrating. But you may not even realize that it's frustrating for you. Like, you may not consciously be like, oh, this is frustrating. You're just going through it, getting frustrated, but not even aware that you're getting frustrated, because it's a micro frustration, right? It's not enough of a frustration to get you upset about it. But that could happen 3 times a day, every day. Or if you could take 5 minutes and create a system to organize your dead batteries, and that problem is solved forever. Can you see like the compounding effect of like how taking the time to do one little thing and solve that frustration or that problem has a compounding effect of leaving extra juice in your body throughout the day, because it's not wearing you down.